Do we start?
Mathias just left.
I'm here. I just, I'm here. I just wait for everybody.
2021.
See? That?
Yes.
Shall we start?
Yeah, I think so.
Whenever you're ready. All in?
21 participants as of now. In the group chat, I think we have more, is it?
Yeah.
Okay. You
I
can
think
wait.
We can start.
Let's start then.
Okay, I shall mute
Shall we start?
everybody.
Yeah, please. Shall we start?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
So
Thank you.
all participants are allowed to unmute yourself if you have questions to ask during the sessions. Just feel free to ask the questions.
Okay. So, hi, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for your time. Today we have the privilege of Mathias sharing a bit with us about his project with regards to the Hong Kong riot in 2019. Again, this is to ensure smoothness of internet connection. We will all be muted. But at any point in time, if you have any questions, please unmute yourself and then ask, and Mathias would address it either on the spot or maybe a bit later as he goes on. So thank you again. Thank you, Mathias, for your time, and hope everybody enjoys. Mathias, thank you, please.
Yes. Good afternoon, everybody. Yeah, good afternoon in Asia, good morning in Europe, wherever you are. And thank you for joining us. So today I'm going to talk about the Hong Kong protest. I was there on June, September, and November. So I'm just going to run through my my photos, and I'm going to share my experience, how I get my pictures, how I get my photos, and what equipment I use. And if you have any questions along the way, feel free to unmute and stop me and ask. Okay, so let me introduce myself. My name is Mathias Heng. I'm a photojournalist. I'm also a Leica instructor. So I've been using the M camera for 30 years, and I've been shooting for 35 years. So how this Hong Kong riot came about, it all started with the expedition of one of the criminals. You know, I'm not sure whether you know about the case, how the Hong Kong riot started. This guy, he went to Taiwan with his girlfriend and he murdered his girlfriend, came back, he was caught for murder. In Hong Kong, because the sentence was, the crime was done in Taiwan, Hong Kong could not press charges on him, so they wanted to extradite him to China. And that's when the whole of the Hong Kong people went on protest. They started went against it, because this can happen, which means Hong Kong could send anyone to China for sentencing. So that's how this protest started. So it was supposed to be a peaceful demonstration, and as time goes by and things became out of hands, and then there was a lot of chaos and riot. Right, I would like to start about this photo. My photos, they are not in sequence. So they are mix of everything. So I'm just going to run through more of my experience. So this photo, I was in Mongkok. This was taken in November. That was one of the most hottest period of the time. Every day there was protests and a lot of tear gas and riot going on. So how I got this photo, this was shot. It's about 11 p.m. The protest went on till about 4 in the morning. So as press, a lot of us were asked to back off, to leave as well. Not to go close to the riot police. So because I work with short lens, so I need to go close. So due to that, with this camera, it's very discreet. So I was able to go close and take my shots. And once the police noticed that I was taking, that's when they chased me out. So that's how I get my photos. Next photo, please. Can we move on? Yeah. This photo was taken during the lunch crowd protest demonstration. So every day, almost every day, lunch office workers come out to protest. So this sign of gesture, it's got a meaning to it. So why I took this photo? Because of the hands up. So it means the 5 key of 5 key demands. So the protesters they wanted the withdrawal of the bill of the extradition, and investigation of the police brutality and misconduct, release of all arrested protesters, and then the retraction of the official of the protest riots, and they asked for the resignation of Carrie Lam and asking for a new election. So this was a peaceful demonstration. So in order to get such photos, it's not that easy because it's such a big crowd and everything is quite messy. When I say messy, right, to get a nice photo, you need to compose in such a way that everything fits in. So I played with angles in order to get this picture. So, and of course the building blends in as well with the crowd. So if there was a clear sky, then my picture might not be that strong. So the building says a lot for me and with the people. Next, please.
A question, Mathias. So when
Yes.
you're shooting all this, do you require a press kind of a pass to go around, or you just roam around on your own?
No, I have a press card, a press accreditation, in order to protect myself, so that
Right.
police would know that the press, from the media, because at times if you're not from the media, they might give you a bit of a hassle because you're saying that you would have no right to be in there. So yes, that's how I protect myself. But that does not mean that you're fully protected. You still have to safeguard yourself.
Okay.
This is also another. This is also the same protest, the lunch crowd protest demonstration. So the lady pulling up the photo that was shot by one of the photographers in the earlier protests of the police. They were demanding of police brutality, and they demand that they should be treated, not with violence. So this crowd came out and voiced out saying that we are peaceful demonstrators. We are not here on violence. We are having a peaceful demonstration. Next, please. This This photo was taken in Poly U. Poly U was one of the biggest news headline when the police came in and cracked down the students. So this was shot in Poly U. I was up in Poly U, taken from the aerial view of it. So this place, it was going on for weeks, in fact months of blockage. And this was the day before the big riot in Poly U. Next, please. So in Hong Kong, there are many places of demonstration going on. So so you have to find the right place or where you want to cover. So there are a few places whereby the demonstration won't be that huge. Certain places are bigger. The police came in. This was in a city. The protesters, they lay bricks along the road to block the block traffic, to block the police from coming in. So what the police did, they got construction workers coming in. So these are the workers came in, protected by the police, and they cleared the road. So just in case if there was any trouble, and that's when the police will start firing tear gas and arrest protesters who are against the cleanup. Next, please.
The riot is happening in multiple places in one time. So how do you know which is the locations that you should run after?
They have a chat group, all different groups of telling you whereabouts, what's happening, and you get a lot of people sort of messaging and saying, "Oh, look, there's something going on," and out of nowhere, there's not supposed to be any protest, and then suddenly you see a lot of this riot police bus surrounded the whole area. So people feel very suspicious. Something's happening. Okay. So I use a group chat organized by various groups that keeps us informed.
So the group chat is organized by the protesters? Yes,
organized by protesters. So they tell you what's happening and update, and it's open to the public. So the public, they can alert what's happening.
Right.
So that's how I keep track. I even follow the news, but the news sometimes is all mainstream, like it could be like conference, having meetings and whatnot. And they tell you, oh, what's happening at the present moment. But at times it can be a bit of a delay. So it's better to have first-hand news by people on the scene. Whereas this photo, okay, this is the day before the riot or the crackdown in Poly U on Sunday. So I was there from Saturday right till Sunday. I slept in Poly U, so in fact I didn't sleep. I was out all day, all night, just looking for stories and record whatever I could record at the point of time. So this was about 8:30 in the morning. I was about to go back actually because nothing was happening. So I decided, maybe the police is not coming in. So just as I was walking back, and a group of civilians. These civilians, they got really frustrated because there was a lot of distraction. So civilians, people who were not involved in the protest, they just wanted to move on with a normal life. And they took the law in their own hands. So all this was barricade. So the civilians came in, they started clearing the barricades. And of course, the students, they got really angry. As you can see behind the building, that's part of the Poly U, and they started shouting and started throwing rocks at those people. And they made these people managed to clear the road. And just as the students came in, they became a bit violent, and the police started coming in. Next photo, please. Yep. So the police came in, and how riot always starts here. The police will not come in straight away. In Hong Kong, what they do, they will form a line, like a wall, and with all their shield, and they will wait for. It could be there for hours before anything could happen. So it's more of like cat and mouse game. So they just wait and wait until the right time, and then when it starts, it doesn't stop. So this is what happened. They were just in a line. So it can be quite intimidating. Although being oppressed, being there, the police don't talk to you. They, you don't see the faces. As you can see, they're all covered. Can't even see their eyes. They're covered with balaclava, and you really don't know what will happen, because in a riot, doesn't matter whether you're pressed or not. A Indonesian journalist was shot by a rubber bullet. She lost an eye, so she was shot at quite close range. So at a point of time, police were also firing at journalists. Next, please. This was, see, the protests or the demonstration. It comes in various groups. Okay, this is a different group. They gather in a park, and they had a peaceful demonstration, and they walk around the city. And the photo there behind is one of the students who fell from the uni, and unfortunately he didn't make it. He died. So in this demonstration, total two person died, and in memory of this person. Of course, for them it was a learning thing that they want peace and they want democracy. So how I got this photo, again, I went low, as low to the banner. So that's how I get my shot, to get a dimension.
It must be quite a quick shoot and run away, right? Because you look like you're right in front of them.
Yes, I was right in front of them, so you got to be fast. So you know what I did? I just go really quick, go down really low, and take my shot. Yeah. So that's how it works. And for this, the protesters, they don't like, or rather they try to avoid being photographed. Although it might sound a bit weird, because if you're in a protest, you are in the open, because you're exposed. People can photograph you or film you from a distance. So whenever they're writing something, or they're building roadblocks or whatever, because they do block roads. And when you take a picture, they will use the umbrella and cover, or they cover their face. So this was in the midst of the demonstration. They were writing. Unfortunately, I can't read Chinese. So this is the guy kneeling down or stooding down. He was writing, and all those people around, they had umbrellas they were covering. And it just happened that I just happened to run across, and it caught my eye. So what caught my eye is not so much taking a photo of him, but it's also taking the photo of the whole environment. So again, when you do storytelling, not necessarily showing the person's face, but you can show what's happening in the surrounding. Yeah. And of course, the students also, they need to protect themselves, because the authorities, when they've been identified, they can be arrested. This is during the midst of a protest, and the riot was about to happen, and the police was safeguarding the whole place. They were sort of surrounded the whole area. So it was quite intimidating. If you're not used to it, they look really, they don't look friendly at all. So you really don't know whether you're doing the right thing in taking a picture. So obviously, if you take a photo like that, you got to be fast. Don't shoot like crazy. You got to get your photos, move on, take photos again. Next, please. Okay, this is in the university. So these are all the, as you can see, all the bottles are all petrol bombs. Yeah. And students, they take turns to look after it. So on my right, you see the umbrella there. It's all protected. They put shield, they put plastic panels, and in case the police started firing. So it's more to safeguard themselves. And then they have a lot of petrol bombs. So this is what happened in peacetime. I call it peacetime because there was the police there was no fighting, but they were just preparing. The students were preparing. Next, please. If you guys have any question, please feel free to ask. Be it whether it's technical or how I get my images. This was in the Polytechnic as well, in the PolyU university. This is along the road, going to different buildings. In the building itself, in the whole of the university, and these students were building barricades. They were building barricades, and they were building walls as well, to prevent the police from coming in. So, as you can see on the tarmac on the road, they're all bricks, bottles. Okay, the photo is quite small on the screen, but if I enlarge the picture, I will be able to see. You will be able to see what they did. They used tubes, this water hose tubes, and they pierce screws and nails in between, so it becomes like a spike. So they just throw on the road. So, and what they did as well, they pour oil on the road. So so if you run, it's more likely you will fall because it's slippery. Yeah. And what they were doing, they were passing bricks. They're using a human chain to pass bricks. And these all students. They felt that they were fighting for independence. Okay, and next please. So this is what they did. So they were, they put cement, they built bricks, and to build a wall. So they worked really fast to build a wall. Within a couple of hours, there was a high wall. So once you are in the university, chances of you going in to come out can be quite difficult, because the entry and exit has become limited. And it came to a point as well, the students were checking on everyone coming in because they were afraid that they were spies. Yeah, so I had my press pass, so that was helpful. This was taken on top of the Poly University. This was shot 2 a.m. in the morning, and every now and then you get a bit of commotion. You don't really know what's happening. So in crisis like that, you got to be on guard all the time, because things just happens within a split of a second. Something happened, and it could be nothing actually, and then suddenly and out of nowhere the riot starts. Next, please.
Matthias, this all was shot with whatever light that was available, or you had extra torch?
Yes, this is all shot on available light. I don't use a flash. It's impossible to use a flash on such crisis. Wow. And shot on, of course, shot on M system, on M camera. How I managed to get results like that, I use a fast lens. So I use a Summilux, a Leica Summilux 35mm with f1.4. That allows me to shoot on low light condition. I'm just going to be a bit more technical now, just because sometimes people just look at the final end result and they say, oh, that's great, but those who are really keen on photography, they wonder, how do you get it? So for instance, like this, because I read light, this was shot at wide open, f1.4, my shutter speed. I try to because there's always movement going on, I try to stay on like 1/125 or 1/90. And this was shot at ISO 5000. So whenever it's in the night, it varies. It could be from 3200 to 6400. So again, it's not understanding your camera. If you're using the M10, and the M10, the good thing about it, the ISO, you can go to 50,000, and the noise level is much lower than what I'm using. I'm using the MP240. But however, if you're able to read light, you can control light, you are able to capture photos on the different lighting condition.
And you're doing all these zone focusings, pre-focusings, or you're having some visual flex to help you with this?
No visual flex is on this eyepiece.
Viewfinder all the time.
Yeah, manual, and I do on the spot focusing because I'm shooting at 1.4. f1.4, I cannot afford to be slightly out of focus, because if that happens, then which means my image is going to be totally out. Because if you're shooting at f1.4, your depth of field is zero tolerance. So which means if you shoot, you got to be spot on. So it's a matter of understanding. Just like this was really dark, So this was taken at the ISO 5000. So again, it's how you read light. So if you're able to read light, you can capture the fire as your light source. So like this photo, it was really dark, and they had a big riot on that night. So the police were about 300 meters away, and the protesters, they were throwing petrol bombs, and the police was firing tear gas, and this is all coming from the petrol bombs. So, and this guy was just trying to clear the fire, and there was a lot of running around like this. Yeah. So when I took this photo, I think I was the only photographer who got this image, because when the police were coming in, everybody just ran. So when they charged in, all the protesters will back off because no matter what, they cannot outbeat the police because the police, they've got weapons. They use tear gas, because when you're too close to tear gas, if it hits you, you start tearing, you start coughing, you get choked. It's very uncomfortable. So what I did, everybody ran away. I just stayed aside, and I took the risk. I just I took the risk, and if I get caught, they would probably just tell me to, go away. So what I did, and good thing as well, because they were firing tear gas. Where they were shooting, there was no tear gas. The tear gas shoots like 50 meters away, so I don't get the tear gas. So and this scene also is like, to me, it's like a movie, because the building is all intact, everything's so nice, and then you see a lot of destruction going on. So I try to shoot as well the way it is, as raw as possible. This one, as you can see, all the umbrellas on the background. See, all that's what they do in Hong Kong. They use umbrellas to protect them as well. So, for instance, rubber bullets started firing and tear gas, they will cover to protect themselves. And the guy on the foreground, he was on guard, so on duty, just looking around, see whether there are any police coming in, and they will radio to the people up in the uni. So again, they put all these bricks just to slow you down, because it's to run is so difficult. You most likely you will trip. So whenever you run, you got to look around, and you have to be careful of the spikes, because they put the tube with a lot of nails and screws. So when you run, if your shoe is not nail proof, you will pierce through. I've seen a few people who step on it, and it's not a nice feeling. So
Mathias, obviously you spend quite a number of days or weeks there. So is that on a single trip you cover all these images, or you make multiple trips?
I made multiple trips. I was there in June when the first protest started. It was a peaceful demonstration, but it was huge. I think it was like almost like 2,000-3,000 or even more. Then I went in September, in November. So November was really heating up. So
images we saw here are combinations from your 2 to 3 trips altogether.
Yes, it's a combination.
Right.
Same here, I like to work close to my subject. So I wait for, again, I work through observation. You cannot plan your shots. You cannot conceptualize. There's no way when you're covering such things. What you need to do, you need to be sharp and observant. And of course, composition is so important. And of course, the police were coming in. They were going after the protesters. And that's when I took the photo. So again, shot on low light, and I had to be fast. I had to do critical thinking of, because they're running so fast. What am I supposed to do? What settings? So again, sometimes in order to avoid out of focus, I plan with them, which means I follow my subject. And this one, I was on the ground because there was heavy firing going on. And this was, I was cornered in such a way that the police were really firing nonstop. And I don't think they noticed I was there. So what I did, I went really low. And I was actually right on the ground. And just as we're right on the ground, taking cover, police, came and he had this the rifle there is a tear gas rifle, and he was firing at a laneway because there were protesters out there as well. So just as I saw that, I was like, this is a shot, So I took only about 2 frames, and they move away. So you have to be careful. You got to blend in. This was in the Poly U, in the canteen. So when I was there in the university, what caught me by surprise in the canteen, everything was provided. That includes from food, clothes, shampoo, soap, everything. Whatever you need is all there. So they had a good supply of supplies of everything, prepared for this. So the students, they were handing out things to fellow students, and it came to a point they were quite sensitive of photographers taking photos of them because nobody knew, there was so much of supplies. So I even don't know where he came from. So it's unusual. And this one was taken in June, and I went on my first trip in June. So it was a peaceful demonstration, and all the stick-on paper, people were writing notes of how they felt, and they were writing messages, and it was everywhere on the street. Next, please. This was in a riot on another place. This was again in Poly U. That's when they had lots of fighting going on, and as you can see, the students are all fully equipped. They have gas masks. Many of them do not want to be identified. They have this shield of really fully covered. You can see the face. And just as this guy on my foreground is lighting up, as you can see, the lighter is lighting up. It's gonna light and start throwing out, throw the petrol bomb to the fire police. So this is all in the spur of the moment. You just don't have time to think. You just got to be quick when you take the photo.
Matt,
Yes.
I have a question.
Yep.
I heard that time, and I saw in the news also that some journalists has caught by the police and they got beaten by police. Actually, what happens there?
Okay. Yes. It came to a point the police. See, the Hong Kong protest is very, very. It's a mix. Initially, they're supposed to be a peaceful demonstration, and from my point of view, I'm the witness, so I'm not here to judge, but I saw both sides. So when I was there in June, September, the police didn't do much of going against. They didn't retaliate. So what the protesters did there, they went around destroying like traffic lights, CCTV cameras, and things like that. Then when it became really out of hands, police were really brutal. So they didn't care who you are, what you are. They even hit journalists. You're right. So you just got to be careful, and especially if you look local. Through my observation, they were targeting the local journalists, media. But foreign journalists, they wouldn't really dare touch them that much because they know they're international media. But I've seen them firing at local media. So yes, in fact, a Indonesian journalist, she was shot at close range. I think about 15 meters. A rubber bullet went through her mask, gas mask, and she had a proper gas mask with the glass on it, the shield. It went through, and she lost one eye.
So Matt,
So
I was told you were also fired by a rubber bullet
yes, I was
that was
shot as
somewhere
well.
near your leg. Right.
I was shot by a rubber bullet, but I don't think that was intentional, because this was in the midst of the protesters and the police. They were fighting. So I was in the way, and I was dodging for. I see the canister of the tear gas flying, and rubber bullets. I can't see rubber bullets. I see when it flies, when the canister drops on the road. And you can see smoke traveling. And that's when I watch where they're firing. But of course, no matter how careful you are, you might get hit. So how I got hit, because I was running and I saw a photo. A guy was lifting a petrol bomb, and he was about to throw it. I went for it. I took the picture, and that's when I got shot. So, but I was lucky that it wasn't close range, but it still hurts.
So that stopped you for the day, or what kind of injury level it caused? Bleeding and stuff? Or?
The injury level was I had a bruise, felt pain, bruise, but it didn't pierce through my skin, but it's just a big bruise, So, and it's still on my leg actually. The bruise stayed there, didn't go away. So, yeah.
Lucky you
So,
got thick skin, man.
yeah. But although we were in pain at that point of time, because if you're in such a situation, you are in this adrenaline effect whereby, sometimes even you're hurt, you don't feel the pain because it's your fear overcome your pain. It's more, you become like a surviving mode. So usually after the whole ordeal, then you feel it. So at that point in time when I was hit, it's like I felt the pain, but I had to run. I had to sort of make sure that I'm not being hit again. So it's your surviving mode just takes place. And how do you work? This is in the university. So this is the archery actually. The students, they got a lot of activities, and one of it is archery. And what they did, they use this as part of the weapon as well. They use the arrow, they put fire, they tie around, and they fire. They shoot at the police. So when I witnessed this, there was a bit of a disagreement with the protesters, because they're saying that if they start doing this, and then the police got every right to use live rounds and shoot them. So there was a bit of a disagreement within them at that time. So because in moments like that, you really they have to be very careful, because the police is just all out. This one, this is a protest. That's why I got shot. I was running around and trying to dodge into to get a photo of it. So as you can see, all the smoke, they're all tear gas. So if you don't have a mask, you'll be suffocating. You start tearing. It just gets to your throat, and you just find it difficult to breathe. You start coughing.
So were you wearing mask yourself as well?
Sorry?
Were you wearing this mask
Yes,
as well during the whole thing?
but I wasn't wearing what that guy was wearing in the photo, because the visor, it sort of comes out, so it's hard for me to look and focus. So what I did, I improvised. I had a mask just for my nose, mouth, and I used swimming goggles. So swimming goggles, I could see, I could go close. So that's what I did. So the thing about tear gas is to protect your eyes and of course your nose and your mouth. So if you have the tear gas mask like this, then you will not get affected. So you can still take photos, you can still run around even the tear gas right in front of you. But however, being said that, if you stay there for too long, you will get, because the filtration of the gas mask, I don't think is, it only lasts for X amount of time. So if you're there for too long, then it will get in, and then you start to suffocate. You start to cough and get choked. Any questions?
Yep. This is our last pictures here.
Hi, Matt.
Yes.
Yeah. As you must move quickly in every shoot, and yeah, also most of your picture in the low light.
Yeah.
Did you do focusing with viewfinder, or you just do with hyperfocal or something?
Sorry, say again. Say again.
How you do the focusing?
Oh,
You
focusing.
said you do with 1.4 and
Yes.
in low light, and you must move quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not easy to do focusing with the viewfinder. Do you do hyperfocal or something?
No, I do on the spot focusing because I'm shooting at 1.4. I cannot afford to get it out of focus, because if I do get out of focus, then I won't get a sharp image. So what I tend to do here, I always keep my, hang on, I just want to see, I always keep this here, my viewfinder, my focusing, clean. Always keep it clean, this and this. And of course,
Okay.
so if you keep it clean, it's just like wearing your glass, your spectacles. So if there's a lot of fingerprints, when you wear it, it's very muggy. Same principle. So I keep that clean. So when I keep it clean, so it's clear. So when it's clear, right, then of course I know my distance as well. So if I know my distance, then that helps a lot, because when I'm shooting, if I'm focusing, it's a bit too dark, and sometimes I can estimate. So it's like, no, it cannot be 1 meter, it's about 3 meters. So it's understanding your distance and the judgment of your eye. So that's how I work on it.
Okay, thank you.
So Bernard, that was sorry, Mathias, that was the only camera you carry, or you have backup sets, separate lenses to swap?
When I went to Hong Kong, I decided to carry only one camera, because I know it's going to be very difficult to move around with 2 or 3 cameras, because the running around is just going to slow you down if you're going to carry so many cameras. So I brought one camera. I brought 2 lenses. One is a 24 and one is a 50 as my backup lens. So 35 is my work lens.
How many batteries do you bring every day? 5?
I carry about 8 batteries.
8, damn it.
Yeah, as the backup, I don't even use 8 batteries, because the reason why I carry so many batteries, because put it this way, if your camera battery is dead, you don't have a spare battery, it's pointless. So I rather carry more batteries, but I hardly even use my backup batteries. Of course, if I go back to my hotel, I will charge my battery. Then I will load and the fresh battery in. So what I do, I just recycle my battery and carry lots of memory cards. So carry lots of memory.
Does that mean you pick your moments and your images, or do you? Because I assume this kind of situations is hard to plan. You won't know what's coming up, right?
Yes, you will know. So I don't plan what to do in terms of my, I will just be prepared, especially on my equipment. And I don't carry a bag. I have a pouch. I think a lot of people that see me, I always have a pouch with me. The pouch is where I put my batteries, my memory card, my press accreditation, all my documents inside. Yeah. So with that, I can move around. I can run around quite easily. A bag is good, but sometimes a bag slows you down in terms moments like that.
Mathias,
Thank you.
can I ask you a question? This is T. also.
Yes.
Okay, you were using a f1.4 and always use a speed of 1/125. What is the safe? What's the highest ISO you ever use on those at that time at night that's safe for M10?
For M10, okay, for M10, you can use even like, okay, for instance, if I was using M10 at that moment of the low light whereby they were fighting in the night, I will use, if I really want to play safe in a sense that fast shutter speed at, say, for instance, 1/250, and my shutter speed, I want to leave it as, my f-stop, I want to leave it as, say, f4, 5.6. Easily, I can use ISO 8,000, 10,000, I can get away. Yeah.
Okay, I can watch for your pouch, Mathias. I'm using those.
Yeah. Yeah. So that comes in very handy.
Yes.
So Mathias, one more question. What kind of projects or work that you are currently doing in Singapore since you are grounded, you're not traveling anywhere?
At the moment now, I stay at home. I do a lot of research. I run through my photos, and when I'm out, I do my essentials. I have my camera with me always, and that doesn't mean that you cannot take photos. So when I do my essentials, whatever catch my eyes, I'll take a photo of it. I'll take pictures on the current situation. So that's what I've been doing. And of course, I prepare for my future, and let's hope this gets over and done. I don't see that it's going to get over so soon. But if once this is over, the crisis is over, COVID-19 is over, at least we can move on back to our normal life.
All right.
Any
Anybody else
questions?
has a question?
Okay. Any more? Otherwise, we are doing pretty good in time, an hour.
All right.
Any other questions?
Do you have a plan to make your hair blonde? Oh,
No.
okay.
Silver, or green.
I leave my hair normal.
Mathias.
Yes.
Hi, Matt. Hello, Mathias.
Yes.
Yes, Mathias, it looks that most of your picture, you took the picture quite close to the object. Am I right?
Yes, I'm very close to my subject.
Yeah, so brave.
Yeah, because I'm used to working with close range. So again, it's getting to be used to it. It's how you approach. So if your approach is very important, because if you go in like a bull, then of course you be known for it. So you have to go in very subtle. Yeah, and because I like using 35 or 50, because 35 and 50 is the human eye. There's no distortion. Your eyes is what you see from this lens. And to me, that's humanity. So if I want to do true reporting, I have to do humanity, how it happened. I am not picking on other photographers. There's no right or wrong, but I've known photographers that use really wide angle lens, and like I've known a few photographers, a few of my mates, they like using pretty wide. I mean, they have their own opinion, which I respect that. But imagine if you're taking someone in famine, somebody so skinny and hungry, and then you use, say, 15 millimeter or 16 millimeter wide angle lens. a man stretching out his hand or a hand, everything will be distorted. So you even looks even wider. So when you look at it, wow, it looks so dramatic. So this is what we see as our eyes. So, you know, I have to respect my subject in order to do what I want to do to show what's happening.
Yeah.
You still leave your images as it is. You don't crop. You don't adjust.
No, I don't crop. I don't do manipulation. I don't do alteration. You know, I don't take things out. I don't put things in. My only thing that I do editing is I do on my my shadows and my highlights. I think I've said this before. It's like printing. When I was in a dark room, when I was in my film days, when you get your correct exposure on your negative,
Yes.
when you put it in a enlarger, you still have to get the exposure to print. And then you got to do a bit of burning and dodging because your enlarger is only a general light source. So you need to burn and dodge. So Photoshop is applied to the darkroom technique. So that's what I do. I just do a bit of fine tuning because no matter what you take here, you get it right, but you still have to do a bit of fine tuning. It's just like cooking, you know. So you're a chef, you know, you bring a fish, you know, they still have to do fine tuning of how to cook, you know, in their own style.
Thank you.
Also, Matt, entering the riots circumstances like that, do you have to have special permits, or just you come to Hong Kong and try to find the good place for photo, or
Okay, you don't need permit in Hong Kong. All depends which country. So you need to know which country. A few countries they want the journalist visa, but most countries, you know, you just go in as it is. So it's better to go in as just a normal visa, because you go in as a journalist visa, you have to submit a lot of paperwork.
And you have no problem with police something because you walking around the camera and taking photos?
Because I have a press accreditation, I have press pass. So a press pass helps a lot. Yeah. But even then, sometimes you have a press pass might not help you 100%. So sometimes you might just have to go away. You're not allowed to take, because they find that journalists are trying to show the honest truth of what they did, and they don't want to be seen. You know, so I've been asked to leave many times. You know, so even like you know, I've been end up in a place whereby there are a lot of roadblocks, or rather they barricade the whole place. So when I get to my destination, I cannot go any closer. So I have to alight and walk. Just by walking, they have this strong torch, and they start torching. They start to light, pointing at you. They just want to blind your eye in that sense, to see what you're doing. So again, to me, it's like intimidation game, you know. And sometimes what they did, because they could not, there were so many press people out there, they could not stop us from photographing. So what they did, whenever you lift up the camera, they use a torch and blind your camera.
Oh, wow.
So that's what they did. But sometimes when they did that, right, thank you very much. You make the photo for me. Because when they point certain things, I just move certain angle, I get a light beam. You see? So again, that's how you take advantage on your lighting. So I look at it is doesn't matter if you want to stop us from not being taking the photo. So they point the torch really bright, you know, beam lights, and they just right in front of your lens. So you get nothing practically. But again, it's how you move. So for instance, the light's coming here, I just have to move this way. You know, I just have to tilt it a bit. That's it. I'm off angle of the light, and then I get really nice light rays coming in. So again, it's how we understand light.
Mathias.
Thank you.
So you are shooting on your own most of the time, or you are moving together with other reporters, journalists in a group?
I shoot on my own, and on June, September, I was on my own. November, I was with a colleague with another photographer. So we move around together, but we spend separate ways. Yeah, so it depends. So sometimes it's good to work with people, people working together. At times, it's better to work on your own. So again, pluses and minuses. If you work together, then of course you must have a mutual understanding that okay, we take photos on different scenes so that we will not take the same picture. See what I'm saying? But if you're on your own, then of course whatever you get, there's no one there, then nobody's got the picture. But in Hong Kong, it's quite impossible when I was there because there's so many media, photographers and film cameramen. So it was quite difficult to get a photo without a media. When I say without media, you cannot sort of put that out because they're always in the photo. So if you can see a lot of my photos here, I would avoid press guys taking pictures, not to put in my picture because it doesn't look, to me, doesn't look authentic. Because what I want to capture the scene of the riot. So the good thing is because I could go close. I was daring enough to go close enough. A lot of photographers use long lenses. So again, using a long lenses and a short lens, it gives you a different perspective, totally different perspective. So you use a long lens, you get very compressed image. So you know, I want to show the whole scene as the way I saw what my eyes saw, so that my audience will see exactly. It's like, wow, this is how it looked like. But if you use a long lens, everything will be compressed, and then your image is sharp, and most likely you get a bokeh because the longer your lens, the shorter your depth of field, and then your angle is tighter.
Okay. Do we have any more questions from the floor?
Yeah, I think. How about the planning? I mean, you make this photo series and you plan going to Hong Kong to take a picture. Do you set up your photo planning first, or you just going and see what happened and then shoot?
In terms of photo planning, I do my research. So, but for Hong Kong, it was very, very complicating. Initially, when it happened, you know, a lot of people sort of, oh, is this a big demonstration? But what was the reason behind it, you know? And what was the cause of the demonstration? So it was very, you know, touch and go. So I did my research on that and wanted to know more about it. And that was what I did. But in terms of places where to go, I have to be there. Of course, before I leave, I'll find out where to go. But every time when you end up in that place, you see a different scenario, different scene. Because sometimes people can exaggerate. They say, wow, you know, this place is da-da-da, and go on, you know, there's a lot happening. But when you're there, it's like, it's okay. You know, in certain places are not reported, then you look at it, it's like, oh my goodness. So again, I go on the case by case, and that's how I look at it. So I don't plan where I want to go, only when I'm there in my destination and I find out where to go. And of course, it's not cheap traveling around, especially when you go to such places. A lot of I guess I travel by taxi. I didn't even bother hiring a vehicle because it's impossible to park your vehicle. So the best option is go by taxi. And a lot of taxi drivers will not even take us to where we wanted to go. Many of them will just refuse. They say, no, trouble area, no, they won't take us. A few of them will take us, happily will take us, and encourage us to take more photos because they want the world to see what's happening in Hong Kong. So again, it's a very, very mixed feelings when I was there.
Okay. Any more questions?
Matt,
Yes,
Ruben,
Ruben, yes.
you said just now that you get the information from the group, right?
Yes. Chat group.
Yeah, I'm very curious. How can you join to that group? It's a very close group, right? Even
The-
a police cannot join the group,
Yeah.
and you
So
can join
what
that.
they do, they will vet you. They will try to see your background, what you do before they accept. See? So sometimes you're lucky, you've been accepted. Sometimes they think, oh, no, I don't feel comfortable with this person, then they will not accept you. See?
Okay,
So again, and also once you're there, you start talking to people, and one thing leads to another. So once the people they know you, oh yes, okay, you can join, and then if you're lucky, you say, oh yeah, I know the administrator. So again, it's gaining access and trust. That's why I always believe whenever you are doing reporting, be honest, because there are many people who are not honest. And when the subject or the person that you know they trust you, and they find out you're not honest, then you never gain trust again. So for me, it's very important. So that's why when I'm into this line in documentary and reportage, I always believe, in respect and dignity of my subject.
so you
Even
got it. So you got it by approaching one by one to the people you met at that time, right?
no, I was lucky. I just apply. I just put in as join, and they just accepted me.
Okay.
Then I get all the listings, So, but let me tell you, if you don't want to get lots of messages 24/7, then don't do it, because sometimes you get just really tired. It's like in the middle of the night, you still get messages, people sending messages and telling what's happening. Yeah, of course you can mute it, but it's good information.
And
In
it's very precious, right? Joining in the group is very precious. It's very precious for the first step for this project.
Yeah. So at least you know where you're going, and then you meet more people, and then you get different views from different people.
Mm.
You like this Hong Kong demonstration. Uh, Almost a whole of, I would say, 70% of the Hong Kong people against it, but majority are students and they're young. So when Hong Kong and the British hand over Hong Kong to China in 1997, these kids, these students, they were just born at the time. They were young. So now they come to this age, it's like, nah, we want Hong Kong to be Hong Kong. Hong Kong is Hong Kong. But at that time, they were too young to even voice out. See, so these are the people now. They are fighting for their future. So that's what I get the feedback from the people. Whereas the older folks, there's like, they get angry with the youngsters. I met a lady in her 50s. She was actually clearing the road. They were throwing bricks. They were barricading the road. She literally moved everything, and she went against the youngsters and said, "Look, go get a job. Why are you causing so much problems, distraction? Here I am. I'm trying to make a living. You are destroying my livelihood." So again, it became a bit out of hand. So covering such issues, you get different stories from different people. So I'm not here to judge. I'm there as a witness. So my job is to photograph is the way it was, and hopefully the next generation, they can learn something out of it.
Thank you.
Then
Okay. Yeah, got it. Got it.
Mhm.
Okay. So thank you all. Thank you, Mathias, for your time and for your sharing session.
Good
I
job,
think we,
Mathias.
yeah,
Great one.
we'll-
Thank you very much, Mathias.
thank you, everybody.
Thank you so much, Mathias.
Thank you.
Thank
Stay
you.
healthy. Stay
Awesome.
healthy.
Thank you.
Yes.
Very
Thank you,
awesome.
Mathias.
Thank you.
Oh, one question, Mathias.
Thank you, Mathias.
Oh,
Hello, one question, Mathias.
yes, silakan, Bu.
Are you going to make a book like you made for Japan?
I would like to. Honestly, I'll
Yes,
be honest
please
with you.
do.
For me, one of the main projects is doing books. And
Oh, yeah.
one that I like doing is not because I would like doing books because I want to be famous or whatever. It's not that. To me, it's not about me. I've said this before. My photos is about them.
Sharing.
Yes, sharing so that the next generation.
Yeah.
But books are not cheap. They are expensive to produce, and it takes a lot of time to produce. When I say a lot of time, just not working like 6 months or or 9 months. It could be years if you want to do a compilation of a substance of strong work. So yes, you need a lot of perseverance. You need a lot of patience to get this going. Yes, books is fantastic because the next generation will be able to see it. Yes, definitely. So books is one of my agenda.
Thank you, Mathias. Good luck always.
Thank you very much. Terima kasih.
Thank you, yeah. Thank you, Mathias. Hope to see you soon here.
Yep, I miss Indonesia.
Yeah, we miss you too.
Bye.
Okay. Thank you. Terima kasih semuanya waktunya.
Terima kasih. Bye,
Thank you.
Mathias.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Lee.
Stay healthy. Thank you.